you will repeat after me. I, Letitia A. James, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Attorney General according to the best of my ability. So help me God. God bless you and God keep you.
Allow me to thank my pastor, Reverend Anthony L. Trufant of Emmanuel Baptist Church, former Assembly Member Annette Robinson. Thank you for praying with me this morning. To the former Mayor David Dinkins, and to, of course, I want to congratulate Governor Andrew Cuomo, Controller DiNapoli, my friend, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, and I'd like to recognize all of the dignitaries who are here today and my family members. But I do want to make a special recognition to Barbara Underwood, who took the mantle She took the mantle of this great position and in a short period of time battled giants on our behalf. And we are all grateful. And I am so grateful that you will be staying on as a Solicitor General of the great state of New York. It is my profound honor to stand before you today and to pledge my service to you, the people of the great state of New York, as your Attorney General. And like so many, I came from humbled but determined beginnings. You see, my parents came here from Southern backgrounds, and they raised their children in New York City to basically give us a better chance. And they weren't privileged, but they certainly were blessed. And I imagine that they would be very proud to see me today as they beam down from heaven. And I recognize that we stand today on hallowed ground, blessed with the sacrifice of resistors and dreamers who refuse to bow to traditional rule, seated with the dreams of millions of Americans, refugees leaving their nations of birth for a brighter future under the torch of Lady Liberty, as well as those like my parents who simply saw their destiny and seized their shot at the American dream. And unfortunately, too many Americans find that dream slipping from their reach. The rights and dignity of everyday people are being trampled by the most powerful amongst us. We see powerful corporations who act like they are above the law. We see profiteers and politicians risking the hard-earned security of working people in the pursuit of greater wealth and power. We see corruption eating away at the bedrock of our society, and too often we feel powerless to respond. But today, my friends, we take that power back. Today we respond. I believe in the rule of law and democracy, and the expectation that in the eyes of government you shall be treated no worse than your neighbor on the right and no better than your neighbor on the left. The law is the great equalizer and the greatest pillar of our democracy, the greatest force against government inertia and entrenchment. I will work in a legal system where even the most powerful in the country cannot use a loophole to evade justice. I will fight for a law that codifies a woman's right to choose. And defend our reproductive freedom. I will crack down on government officials who abuse the public trust. And I will take on corporations that pollute our air and our water, that defraud taxpayers and harm consumers. And I will protect the rights of women and immigrants and members of the LGBTQ communities. And communities of color, and anyone targeted by the wrath of bigotry and hate. And I will focus on working with the state legislature to reform a broken criminal justice system and ensuring that young Black and brown children are not held back by a system that is stacked against them. And to all survivors of sexual assault, I cannot heal your wound, but I can stand with you and fight with you and march with you out of the darkness into the light. You will no longer be invisible in my eyes. And I will shine a light into the murkiest of swamps and act as a steward of justice for every New Yorker. You see, leaders worth their salt are here to protect those who are vulnerable and seek justice on their behalf. And that is a promise I make to each and every one of you, to New York teachers and nurses and preachers and parents and construction workers and firefighters and police and soldiers and factory workers, from Buffalo to the Bronx, from Rochester to Riverhead. I am here to promote meaningful change, to keep our families safe and moving forward, and to advance justice at every turn. And I will keep you and your community held firmly in my heart and mind as I walk into work every day, guided by the principles of my faith of Micah, to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly in the company of God. And to those who aim to test or break the law on our watch, to challenge the dignity and security of our great state and its people, you have an opponent. And you better believe, as someone who's from Brooklyn, that I am battle-tested. So thank you so much for this honor and the opportunity to humbly serve each of my fellow New Yorkers. And now I look forward to getting to work. And I thank each and every one of you for this honor. God bless America and God bless New York.